Excellent. Yay.
It actually worked. I figured out what I was doing wrong. I'm like, oh, you have to push the button. Click. Duh.
Yay.
Everybody, so welcome here. Welcome on Wednesday. Stop. Wealth Wednesday. That's my dog who feels like he should be a part of every single interview that I do. Dr. Anita here. I hope you are all doing exceptionally well on this Wealth Wednesday. I hope you are feeling yourself becoming more empowered as we move through this pandemic experience and we pivot for our highest level of success. This is one of the reasons why I'm bringing to you every single Wednesday, and I'm so excited. We have interviews all the way up into the end of July. I've got someone scheduled to come in here and to support you and really step into a higher level of your power as a woman, from who you are, from a spiritual perspective, soul perspective, body perspective, wealth perspective, and authority perspective, so that you can literally have the life that you were designed to have. So these are individuals that I know, that I've followed, that have been an impact in my life, who I believe have information that will be a huge impact for you. And I think you all know at this particular point in time, one of the areas that I recognize as an entrepreneur, especially since I stepped into the entrepreneur world, that I really didn't master the money area of my life, the wealth area of my life. I think most of us know how to make money to the best of our abilities, but very few of us really understand the power of stepping into becoming wealthy. And there's so much information out there that sometimes we're not getting the right kind of information, or maybe enough of the information to help us make the right kinds of decisions to pivot in our lives, particularly during challenging times like what we're experiencing now, so that we can move into the next level. So I'm bringing to you these amazing guests, like our guest today, Gayle Bode, to teach you and give you insight and give you information so that you can make some new decisions. That word decision means to reach a definite conclusion. New decisions to reach a definite conclusion that you're going to become masterful in every area of your life. This doesn't mean working hard. I'm not talking about you working hard. I'm talking about you working smart. I'm talking about you working from a higher place of your spiritual truth. I'm talking about you owning your intuitional power so that you can actually shift your life, shift your business, and start creating the kind of unlimited success you were designed for. So with that being said, I just want to give you a few little housekeepings. First and foremost, welcome to all of our new members. We're so excited that you're here. We hope that you will get a great deal of value from this particular group, from me, and that you will feel comfortable in inviting other women to join us so we can create this powerful synergy and community of highly spiritual, highly vibrational women who are ready to take their life to the next level and change our family, our community, the world. So that's number one. Number two, I hope you feel comfortable. You guys can post in the group. It feels like I'm the only one in here posting. I am totally comfortable with you sharing your wisdom, sharing your insight, showing up and empowering one another. That's how we create this synergy and this vortex of power that causes us all to raise in our thinking and our energy and our vibration, that we can literally shift what we're all experiencing together, personally and in our business. And then, of course, you know that on every single Saturday is your self-promotion Saturday, where you get to share your business. I know most of us in here are business people, and I want you to be successful. And what a powerful way for us to come together and support each other, get out of fear, get out of worry, get out of doubt, but instead be in our power, that we can actually move into the next level. So feel free to post, share your videos. If it's not appropriate, I'll send you a message and say, I'm not sure if this one's going to be a great group for that particular post. Would you be willing to share it? And we'll go from there. 9 times out of 10, I'm probably going to say yes, because it does have to go through an approval process with us. And then the last thing is, we've got some amazing opportunities coming for you to get more visibility. I think most of you know by now, I'm a strategist. I'm one of those individuals who really understands the power of planning. With my background as a marriage and family therapist, so a psychotherapist and an organizational psychologist, I know that the reason why so many people don't have what they want is most of them, one, haven't made a decision that they wanted, two, they haven't really created a plan for themselves, and three, they don't have the kind of support to help them continue to move towards their plan. So this group is to do all of that for you, is to give you the kind of support. Think of me as your therapist and as your coach and as your cheerleader and as your best friend saying, girl, you got this. Come on, we can do this together. And when you have those moments where you need to cry, when you need to vent, and you need to feel like I did this Monday where it's like, I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit on the bed and just eat chips all day long, which is what I did. Don't tell anybody, but I did. And then we have those moments and those are fine just as well. But the goal is that we keep moving forward. We create that feminine momentum that allows us to be successful in our lives. So today I'm bringing Gayle Bode here to talk to you about bookkeeping. Why is bookkeeping so essential to your business? So I'm going to be a little transparent here and tell you, when I entered into the entrepreneurial world, before I entered into the entrepreneurial world, I was actually doing really well. Had good money, worked for a job, had my own private practice. It was a full private practice. I taught at 2 universities, so I was doing quite well. I was in my mid-high 6 figures. And all of a sudden, everything changed. I got laid off because I had gotten a promotion. And the last hired is the first one to go. That's exactly what happened. I got caught in that layoff. And that was the hardest, most difficult thing I've ever done in my life. And it was through that experience, though, the best thing came forward. And it helped me realize how much I wasn't really living my life for myself. It also taught me how much I really didn't know about money and how to manage it the right way and how to really be intentional. Because I think we as women have been directly and indirectly conditioned to believe that we can't handle money. But the truth is very opposite. We're really good at it, but we don't give ourselves credit. So we have this up and down experience. And so one of the things I realized over the years is that I'm good at making money. I don't like to manage money. Because I just spend it. And I don't have this filter in there. And that, of course, there's some spiritual and other psychological issues that were there. I have worked through them. I'm continuing to work through them like you all are. But I realized, why am I trying to do everything in my business? Why can't I just hire someone to do that? Why can't I take my power back and say, this is not my zone of genius. Let me own it. It's not my zone of genius. And let me hire someone who can sit down and say, Anita, what's your goal? What's your vision? And how do I support you in reaching your life goal? And so having a CPA that you work with on a regular basis to prepare you for your taxes and for your business, having a bookkeeper, having those individuals around you to help you become your highest version of your success, yourself, particularly in your business, is one of the reasons why we're doing these Wealth Wednesdays. And so Gayle, being a bookkeeper, and just has a very unique, we've had some really powerful conversations on what does it mean for a woman to take her power back and actually do the things she needs to do, or hire the person she needs to hire to help her be really successful so that you can create. Because when you have that support, you can relax. And when you can relax, you're open to receive the very thing that you're trying to attract into your life. So having a CPA and having someone manage my money, that doesn't mean I'm not involved in it. It doesn't mean I don't pay attention. I don't know what's going on, because that would be me giving up my power. It's me saying, I don't have to do all the daily little things that need to take place with it. I have someone who does that for me and who makes me look good or makes me feel good or teaches me where I need to maybe mature and maybe grow up a little bit more and take a little bit more power back in actually handling my money. So that being said, Gayle, yay, I'm so glad you're here.
Well, thank you. Hi. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much, Gayle, for being here and taking time out of your busy schedule. I wanted to make sure I had that little bit of a setup for us so we can have this rich conversation. So just so that you guys know, she sent me some questions, and I want to make sure I ask all the questions because I think they're really powerful, but I can't do 2 things at one time. One day I'm going to do like my roommate. She's got like 5 different computers. I'm like, ooh, I want that.
Yeah.
I think that would be so fun. So let me pull up the questions. So first and foremost, Gayle, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to our community?
Yes. Hi, I'm Gayle Bode. I'm located in the San Francisco Bay Area. I've been doing this work for over 35 years. I started in the San Francisco Financial District working for CPA firms. So I have the actual experience of working with CPAs as an administrative manager. So I have both the operations and administration as well as the bookkeeping and numbers crunching. So, and I just love it. So. That's
And how
one.
many people do you know say they love numbers? Like, God bless those who love numbers. I don't. I know how to do what needs to be done, but there's something very empowering to have someone support you. So Gayle, you said you have I know you told us a little bit about your business and your background, but within that you have what's called the ABCD of bookkeeping. The ABCD of bookkeeping. Would you tell us what that's all about?
Yes, so I have the opportunity to work with business owners who love what they do. They're really good at it, but they find themselves overworked and overwhelmed by compliance issues and
Yeah.
keeping on top of their bookkeeping. So I developed this way of looking at it that removes some of the judgment and the angst and that tax season feeling. We don't
Yeah.
want that. This is fun with your funds, FUNDS. And it's you want to be able to know what's going on. And so I just broke it down into the ABCs and didn't use numbers.
I love that. I think the reason why I like this so much is because, and I know each letter has a particular definition. So I'll have you explain that in a second. But the reason why this is also so important is we all know that money is energy. And if for whatever reason you've got some sort of resistance, some sort of a pullback with money, it's going to affect your ability to allow it to come into your life or through your business on a consistent basis. So having someone else manage the ABCDs of your business can actually help you relax a little bit, which means as you're setting those intentions to call in that $2,000 or that $20,000, or if you have a desire to build your team and every single person on your team, if you're selling some sort of a product is making at least $5,000, then all of you have to be relaxed. You have to be grounded in knowing that you can have this, you can do this, and that you've got someone who's going to support you and who can come alongside and balance that for you. Does that make sense? Am I saying, do you hear what I'm saying? Hopefully you guys understand that. So this is why knowing someone who has a love for money, who's coming alongside you to help you love your money is so powerful in regards to the energy and the vibration of attracting that in. I know she didn't say that, but I just want you to hear that because I know somewhere in the back of our minds, hopefully you're thinking that the more relaxed I am about money, the more it's going to come in and help me fulfill the calling and the destiny on my life. So Gayle, would you be willing to share what the ABCDs of money is? And well, one, why do you love money so much, or numbers? And both.
I like the fact that it's an absolute. I mean, 2 and 2 equals 4. There's no
Yeah.
interpretation. There's no if the sun's shining, it's this way. If the moon's out, it's that way. I like that certainty, but
Yes.
I also see it as a stepstone. So you've got that base certainty. It's 2 and 2 is going to be 4, but there's a million things you can do with the 4.
Yes.
So I like the fact that it's both. An absolute is always going to equal the same thing, but there's so much diversity and application. I love applications. That's why I mentioned that I'm an operations person as well as a bookkeeper. The application of what you do with your money is what I find answers to my creative necessity of what I like to do with numbers.
Would you go a little deeper in talking about what application means, just so that everyone has an understanding of it? Because I get you, but maybe everyone else in the group may not understand. What do you mean by application of money?
So once you have your base amount, and let's say your income is staying with the 2 plus 2 equals 4. Let's say you get $4,000 in and you only have $2,000 worth of expenses. What do you want to do with that other 2,000? Are you
Yes.
sharpening the saw, like they say? Are you getting a coach? Are you adding a new printer or a new type of software? I work with a lot of brick and mortar type businesses, and they have industry specific software. Even with the therapists, they have Simple Practice or
Yes.
Metasoft for the chiropractors, and the auto shops have Michelin software and those types of things. So I take those numbers that they have from their software and integrate it into the bookkeeping. But sorry, I regress a little bit, going back to what you do with the not necessarily extra amount, but the amount that you have a discretion about. So there's the base of what you've got, and that bucket is a necessity. That's what you need to keep your lights on. But then you may have, in different times, an amount that you can use. You can save it, you can accumulate it, and then maybe do a program, do some learning, or use it to buy more equipment and expand. So that's the part that I find really interesting. And to know how that money comes in and what it happens to it so that you can make those decisions.
And the reason why I wanted you to bring that up is like I said earlier on, I wish I had heard this early on in my career when I was making good money, because I remember my CPA used to say over and over again, you do make great money, but you have nothing to show for it. And I'll never forget that phrase because it stuck with me for a very long time. And it actually got me moving in the right direction, because it's like, you've got great money, but you have nothing here to show that you've got great money. And that made me realize, am I using that additional money that's left over after all the expenses are taken care of? Am I using it wisely? No, I wasn't. I was able to save, but I could have probably done so much more. And now that I'm entering into the financial world and really getting some in-depth learning about how to build wealth, I'm looking at myself going, oh, good grief, I missed an opportunity. Thank God there's still more opportunities ahead of us. And that's the beautiful thing about life, is no matter how challenging things are, they always go back to a place of balance, a place of normality, if you will. And you can always take that to the next level. So I'm choosing right now to do things very differently than what I did before. And I'm looking at more passive and reoccurring and different income avenue streams to do exactly what you're talking about, making sure that my responsibilities are taken care of to the best of my ability, and then now using this other money a little wiser than I did before, because we know that things are changing. Normal will never be normal again. So if there's ever a time to be more assertive about doing things in a smarter kind of way financially, now is the time to do it, which is why I think having a bookkeeper is so powerful. So I know that you, again, if you wouldn't mind describing what each of those letters A, B, C, D stands for, because I think that'll help each person too, because they're very powerful statements that you've got here.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so the A I use for awareness, and it's interesting with your introduction. It is that I believe that each business owner has their own insight. So the auto shop owner, the chiropractor, the holistic healer, they have their own insights. So don't give that away. Yeah. The bookkeepers know the numbers, but we don't have the insight that you have. So really grab hold of that and
love that.
Keep it for yourself, because that's the part that's going to keep your business going. It's absolutely essential to keep on top of what's happening in your business, but you want to have that awareness at all times about what is happening with your money, like you were saying. The next part is to be in business. So coming from with the auto shop, the guy that was the mechanic who gets the opportunity to buy the shop from the owner that's retiring, he now comes from underneath the car to the front desk. Yes. That's a shift from being a technician to the entrepreneur. Once he becomes the owner, you want to be in business. He's not the technician anymore. He's the business owner now. You want to really embody that this is a business, not a hobby. That's but of course it's something you love to do, but it's still a business. So that's the B, the very big part of the B. And you also would need to be engaged and be strategic.
So let's sit here for just a minute, because now my face is all giddy. This I think is, and I say this lovingly, I hope all of you hear this from me in a loving kind of way. Having worked with thousands of people, literally, as a psychologist and as a psychotherapist, and probably a good 1,000 of people in the entrepreneurial world, now that I've been there for 12 years, so thousands of people, one of the things that I see from a lot of women entrepreneurs. So the word entrepreneur means one who creates. So a lot of us are able to create programs and systems and processes to help our client heal. Fantastic, we need that. However, very few of the clients that I've worked with ever really have a business.
Mhm.
And what I mean by that is having an actual strategic plan that shows you not only what your business is about, but you have a financial plan that's a part of it. You've got a marketing plan that's a part of it. You've got a sales plan that's a part of it. You've got a social media visibility plan that's a part of it. You have sat down and looked at every single piece. I don't care if you are a service-based person or if you are a product, if you are part of an MLN. Having a strategic plan, it doesn't have to be as complicated as maybe mine or maybe Gayle's, but it's still having some sort of a plan so that you know how to use your time, energy, and money is going to lean towards helping you be more successful. I think Jim Rohn, and someone correct me if I say it wrong, but he says if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So being a business owner means I have to have some sort of strategic, because she said that too, some sort of a strategic plan to help me know exactly how to show up, help me know how to communicate my business, help me know how to sell my business. And believe it or not, ladies, you know how to sell. You may not like it the way it's traditionally done from the male perspective, but we as women, we sell all the time and we're good at it. And if we would actually own that power that we're good at, so think of it, I think, Gayle, you even said this on one of our conversations. If we can get women to understand that selling is sharing or sharing is selling, then you're going to end up making so much more of a bigger stride in your business. And that's why I'm bringing all these women, because they're here to share information to help you understand this is crucial to your success, particularly now with everything that's going on right now. And so many of us are struggling financially and maybe not bringing in the kind of money that we want. We've got to be having a strategic plan and operating like a business helps us step back and go, what needs to shift, what needs to pivot, what needs to change, what needs to be let go of. That was the thing for me. There's certain things I need to just release and let go of and re-pivot and start focusing on this because this works. Does that make sense, Gayle? What do you think and say?
Absolutely. Yes. And that is something that is a learned skill. And you're also identifying, and without being overwhelming, it means you're wearing a lot of hats.
Yeah.
You're the CEO, you're the marketing rep, you're the delivery person, you're the postage person, you're all of it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's true. But when you start out, I think there's two levels to it. One, you get to do it all. You get to see it all. And the other level is that in the initial parts, it's a ramp up. So yes, at first you may be doing it all, but don't worry. Eventually you can delegate or make a better system, or you learn how to do it faster. So, you're not going to read the whole book at one time. It's a chapter kind of evolution to your skills and your ability to do. And again, you don't have to do everything, but
right.
You're going to be doing a little bit, and it's amazing. And they're not completely separate activities.
Yes.
So you might do several at once.
Yeah, that's very true.
Don't think of it as a lot of hats. It's kind of big hats that fit, puzzle pieces really that fit together.
And I think the beautiful thing about it, and this is just my perspective as well, is that when you're wearing all those hats, somewhere along the line, you start to realize where you're really good and where you're not so good. And you're realizing, okay, I have to start planning to hire someone who can do this for me, because although I know how to do it, I'd rather have someone who can do it better than I can to help me have the kind of success, which is one of the reasons why I said I can do all the stuff that I need to do for the financial stuff. I just noticed that every time I sit down to do it, I have a reaction. So that tells me something inside me doesn't like this activity. So why am I making myself suffer trying to do something that I know I'm not great at? Hire someone who can do it, or at least work towards it. So, okay, my goal is within a year's time, I want to be able to hire a bookkeeper or a CPA or someone who can handle this part, or a marketing person. That's my goal right now is, gosh, my dream is to eventually get to the place where I can hire a marketing person who can come in and help me do some things that I can't do. So what do I got to do in my business to make that happen? Having a strategic plan allows me to sit down and look at it and say, am I on track with what I originally planned and what I got the download to pay attention to, or is there some things that needs to be shifted? coronavirus being a blessing to me because it's helped me go, some things need to be shifted. This doesn't work anymore. That doesn't work anymore. My ideal client changed. Like everything shifted. And now I'm moving to a whole nother level. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I hope you're commenting below because we can't see it on Zoom and I'm not looking at it through my phone. Okay, Gayle, continue because I know that you have a few more.
Yeah, so the next one is C, to be curious, have clarity, and for those of us that need it, control.
Yeah, I love it.
But the curiosity is, again, the one that I want to emphasize because it's really goes along with what we were just saying. So when you're starting out and you're wearing all those hats, you see what it is you need for marketing or something like that. When you hire someone, you'll know what the base level is. You want at least this done. Hopefully they're an expert. They're going to bring you over here, but you can, and curious about how does that work? How am I going to be able to do that? And if you keep the curiosity into it in your business, what can I do better every day? What part can I maybe move over to something else? What two things can I combine and work smarter instead of harder?
Yes, I like that.
And remove the judgment. Just be curious, especially with your numbers. And but you do want to at least look at your numbers, or at least your bank account and those types of things twice a month. I have worked with people that, again, really great at what they do, especially an auto shop owner, really didn't like the computer. That was just not his forte. So I'd come in and he'd be like, "Oh, yay, the accountant's here. Who says that?" But and then I walked him through his computer, and then he actually was curious. He's like, "Oh, I didn't realize that meant that." And I actually learned the auto shop software so I could show him. I actually ended up showing him how to run his own reports.
Good.
Because he loved buying stuff, he loved fixing things, but the report portion was a missing piece. And I actually did end up getting him more curious and being able to use the system better.
Well, what I love about that, not to cut you off, but wow, what a way you gave him back his power by teaching him how to utilize the system that he has, get more empowered in knowing where his numbers are, having a report he can, print out and look at, and then continue to move forward. I think that's very powerful.
Yeah, and I was able to make it, each time we met, it took less time. So as it took less time, he was more engaged. And so there's this beautiful shift of engagement. And I just really like doing that because, like I said, he actually would be like, "Yay, the accountant's here." And the last one is, as we're talking about getting bigger, is the delegation. You definitely want to be able, so when the time is right, and as you're engaged with this and you understand better. So he, for example, taught one of his employees to run those reports. He's, "Well, I don't want to wait till Gayle gets here. I'm going to have, Joe come out from under his car and run a report. Joe is better at computers." And so Joe would run the report for him. And so every day he had the report now. So the point was to get the report, to know what money was coming in, what money was going out. And so, again, it wasn't even about the numbers. None of this was talking, adding anything up. It was awareness of what was happening in his shop, finding a way to get it done, and engaging with it, looking at it, having the curiosity. So when you get to the point of delegating, you want to make sure that you delegate, but you never abdicate. Do not, I invite you to shift if you have that thought of, "I want it to go away." No, not going to go away. Right. But you don't want it to go away because you want to make money.
And so you're giving up your power.
I want to make money. I want to know. I want to use it. I want that extra bucket. When am I going to get to the extra bucket?
Yeah. So you're basically teaching us how to approach money from a very different energy so that we're empowered i.e. Power Her Success Community. The more women, the more we are in our power, we know this, you say this, you talk about it in your own business, you talk about it with your own clients, you talk about it with your girlfriends and your friends. We know intrinsically, spiritually, that when we're empowered, we actually live a more fuller and richer life. So this is why having someone in your life, or at least learning what the techniques are to help you survive. So Gayle, I want to go a little different direction, something you may not be fully prepared for. But what's the benefit of having a bookkeeper outside of what I've shared, but from your perspective, what's the benefit of having a bookkeeper even in your business, especially for those who are just starting out, who may not be making a whole lot of money, but they're beginning to build? Why would we invite someone to be a part of our business process in that kind of way? Is that a fair question to ask?
Well, yeah, no, I'm just, so, experience. Let's just go with the experience of integrating your business with your bank account. We all have bank accounts. We've all looked at a check register, or at least looked at the online portion. The nice thing is that this is a work smarter, not harder component. Now, QuickBooks Online, I'm a QuickBooks Pro Advisor. I didn't mention that. I'm a QuickBooks Pro Advisor, and I actually teach QuickBooks, and I've written some of my own uses of it. I do a effective use and best practices training, but it's mobile. So if you're one of those people that have something that's able to go mobile, you can invoice on the spot. You can sell a book right from QuickBooks Online while you're there. You can sell a package. So you can sell lots of different things and utilize your money and make sales and finish the loop all in a couple of touches of a button, rather than going home, looking at your bank account, trying to figure out what it should be. You can do it all right there. And just compliance, can't resist. QuickBooks has actual sales tax right there. So if you are selling a tangible item, you sell necklaces or whatever, and you need to get your sales tax, and the sales tax has to be where you're doing that transaction, QuickBooks is immediately hooked up to California sales tax. It's beautiful. I love it. Brilliant. I get so excited.
That's actually very
let's do touch of a button. That's why.
And see that, okay, so I didn't even know that. So I just learned something new going, that's not a bad idea to have that. Because one of the things I'm looking at is ADP is a part of my bank. I bank with Bank of America, or my business is with Bank of America. My personal life is credit union. And they've got a system that we can do some of that stuff too yet. I haven't really looked all into the details, but I'm beginning to pay more attention because, I'm strategically mapping out when this whole quarantine is over. I want to be able to sell more of my packages or more of my programs or more of my whatever, and to do it as smartly as I possibly can, and having QuickBooks and using something that's probably more user-friendly than when I first saw it. When it first came out, it was intimidating. Like, I don't want to deal with it. And I think a lot of people felt that, and maybe dealing with business money feel that as well. There's a lot of intimidation towards it. And if you've got some history with family, dealing with money, all that kind of stuff, it all plays out until you clear it out, or at least come to a place of understanding and say, I need help. I need to work with someone like you, Gayle, to help us actually stay empowered as we move forward. If you could give another suggestion, or one suggestion, like a number one suggestion, most of the people in this group are coaches. And I probably believe a good percentage of the women in this group are also MLN, so they're part of a network marketing process. If you could give us a tip or a suggestion, an invited suggestion of what we can do to really start mastering our money, what suggestion would that be from your perspective as a bookkeeper?
Well, I'm going to go a little bit technical just because I'm going to burst if I don't share this.
I don't want you to burst. Go ahead and share it.
So listening to what you said your need was, I just got introduced to a shopping cart that's online where you can put your different levels. So you can have a product, the 5-week program that you sell, do it yourself. That's one selection, but coaching, introductory coaching is another selection, and then not the 9-month coaching is another selection. So you've got all those things. But what's so exciting about it is when you put the person in, Mary Smith buys it from you, you have them fill out a questionnaire and you find out what kind of business they have, whether they're an MLM, whether they're a coach, whether they're a holistic healer, whether they're a family therapist or something.
Yes.
And then as their entire purchase history is there. So let's say they just came in and did a do it yourself and then just one coaching session. But then they realize, oh, I really can't do it myself. I really want to go, well, maybe not the 9-month, but what if we did a 3-month kind of thing?
Yes.
All that history is there. Again, smarter rather than harder. So it's not necessarily a CRM system, but it takes money. It keeps that. I believe it connects to PayPal. So you don't want the responsibility of having people's credit cards, but the system does it and removes you from having any liability. So the liability of having credit cards, there's a whole thing around having people's credit card information. Anyway, so yeah, there's systems like that out there. They're amazing. And again, they can be used on your phone.
I'm curious if anyone's asking.
It's called collapsing the timetable. If you can collapse the timetable of sale to fulfillment to knowing your customer all in one place, all in one login, you can save a couple of hours of work. And those hats become one hat.
So we have a lot of comments on here. I'm looking to see if there's any questions. Love that you ladies are commenting. Thank you so much for being here. And wow, this is awesome. So no questions right now. If there are any questions, feel free to post them. If I don't answer, Gayle's in the group, so she'll go in there and respond to you if you have any specific questions. Gayle, if someone says, I want someone to kind of help me maybe look at my numbers and find out maybe how to work with you and you utilize your services like I have, what's the best way for them to reach you?
You can reach me at Gayle. My name is spelled Gayle at bodeoffice.com. That's my email address. My website also is bodeoffice.com. And I have a 5-point common mistakes that business owners make. It's a real quick booklet. Again, it's kind of fun. And you can get that and then get on my mailing list and get updates. And I do best practices and tips and tricks.
Beautiful. So Gayle, do me a favor. Would you go ahead and later on, right after this session, just post that in the group, give them your website, give them the link to your free gift. That way, all of you are going to be empowered, because that's one of the things I'm asking for all of our guest speakers to come in here and give you some sort of a resource to really help you move into your next level. So Gayle, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and having this conversation with me and allowing me to throw questions at you. And you're like, I got it. And you answered them powerfully. They were exactly what we needed to hear. And again, ladies, thank you for taking your time to be here, to be present, to ask your questions, to make your statements. I would love to hear from you if there's some other kinds of workshops that you guys are interested in having guest speakers come and talk to you on. For the rest of this, pretty much until the end of July, we've got some amazing speakers coming in. I believe next week we have Patricia Elizabeth LeBlanc, who is going to be talking about money clearing. So we're going to do a lot of wealth clearing so that we can actually move you forward. But on Monday, by the way, so there's 2 things coming. Next week, if you haven't registered, look at the pinned announcements. I'm going to launch May 4th through the 7th, a 4-day Build Your Global Finpire. I'm going to actually take you through, give you as much as I can. There's a lot of in-depth information to helping you build your empire, whether it's a service-based or a product-based, helping you understand what do I need to be paying attention to so I can pivot during this time and get myself as ready as I possibly can for the new surge of opportunities that are going to take place right after this pandemic, right after our quarantine is over. This is an opportunity for you to have some real insight as to what do I need to do to build my business, to really be successful in sharing my brand, my message, and my business. So if you haven't registered, you still have time to do so as quickly as possible. Get that in there so that I can support you in that way. And then you also want to save, we're having a special masterclass on May the 11th, which I think is a Monday. May 10th. No, May 11th at 10. That's what it is. May 11th at 10. I'm actually going to bring in one of my business partners. We're going to talk about passive and reoccurring income streams and the opportunity that he's bringing to this group specifically. He did something very special for all of you so that you can utilize the services that he has to help you create passive and reoccurring income for your business and be a solution to other people who may be struggling financially right now. I stepped into it because that's one of the things that's on my heart is there's too many people who are struggling financially. And if there's a way that I can provide a resource that could possibly support them, I want to be able to do that. And if it can support me just as well, if it can be a powerful win-win, then here we go. I am on a mission. I am on a very powerful mission this year to not only help myself financially, but to help at least 100 women. Hopefully it's all of you 189 women in this group step into our power in such a dynamic way that we actually shift even financially. So with that being said, Gayle, thank you so much again for being here, ladies. I love you. I'm so grateful for your presence in this group, for your participation, for your sharing it, because I see a few of you shared this particular live, and I hope that those of you who are watching it outside of our group that you would join us, and let's together step into a next level of power so that we can be unlimited in our life and in our business. With so much love and faith in each and every one of you. God bless. See you next time. Okay, we're gonna stop the recording. I'm supposed to do this the right way. And then here we go. Bye, everybody.
All right.